My name is Brandon Zhoff with Rudy, Responsible Use of Digital Intelligence. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can use Cursor or VS Code, or how to use a development environment. How do you use AI as a operational infrastructure? If you're an entrepreneur or a consultant, you're really missing out on an opportunity to use generative AI or agents to completely manage the internal workings of your business. So I'm going to show you how you can do that. So I'm using Cursor. And if you open a new project here, and so you can think of opening a new project as really your workspace, right? This is the workspace that your agents are going to be able to see and understand. This is the files that they're going to have access to. And so I'm going to go into my desktop, and then I have something called training here, and I'm going to open that up. And so when I open this up, you can kind of see how this looks in Cursor. On this left-hand side is really my file tree. These are all the files that were inside of that folder training. And so you can see that here. And I can add new files. I can add new folders. It really operates the same as my file tree here, right? So if you can think of this file tree and how you're very familiar with this, you can also think of that as being your file tree here. And so if I click on any one of these files, it'll show me the content here in the middle. And so this is your content window here. This is your file tree right here. And so anything that you can view over here in your content, you can see, right, or your file tree, you can see inside of your content. I have like PDFs. Here is a video that you can see here. Here's some diagrams, PDFs. And so you can see all of this can be seen. This is just like a file viewer. And so on this right-hand side, right, on this right-hand side is where we're going to put our chat window, right? This is where we're going to chat, similar to how you would be chatting with ChatGPT. We're going to be chatting with our agent. And our agent is located in the terminal. The terminal can just be thought of, you should just be familiar with the term terminal, right? This is where you write to your agent, right? Your agent communicates inside of the terminal. I'm going to right click on this, and I'm going to move my terminal position to the right, and then I'm going to close this window here, right? And so then I'm going to type in here Claude, because Claude is the agent that I am using. It's the agent that I'm using. And so if I hit enter, you'll see it come up, and then Claude says, "Welcome back, Rudy Jetson." That is me. And now I can have conversations with all of my files here, and I can see the updates happening right here. And so how does that work? And so here's a document. I can read through this document, or I can simply drag and drop right here, and the file path will go there. And I can ask Claude, can you please review this document and tell me the content? And so once I do this request, this should look really familiar. This is the same as if you were communicating with Claude on the cloud, Claude AI, or if you're talking to ChatGPT. And so as you can see here, Claude's going to read this document. He read 260 lines. And so 260 lines, you'll see that's the full amount of lines of the code. And so then it gives an answer here. Claude told me what's in here. This document is an AI competency baseline sample report for educators dated August 2025. And it says all of its finding in there. And so this is just like working with Claude Desktop or working with ChatGPT. And so you may ask, well, what's the difference? Why would I want to operate in this way? Well, now Claude has access to the files that you've given it to. And so I can also say, well, here's another file, and here's a diagram, and then here's another resource. Can you review these files and tell me the content? And so now we've given Claude 3 different files that exist inside of our file system. And now Claude's going to read each of those files and then let us know what's inside the content of those files. And so you see here where Claude now has read through each one of those documents. And so here's document 1 that it read through. Here's the second document, which was an image that it was able to read the image and then see. And here's the third document. And so you can see that Claude was able to read through all 3 of these documents and provide information on the contents that exist within those documents. So imagine how convenient that is to be able to do this. You can also do something where you say, hey, Claude, take this file, and then we'll hit a comma, and then we'll also take this file, and I want you to move these files into this folder, and then we'll put this folder there and rename them into simpler names. And so now we're asking Claude to not only move 2 folders into a different file, but then update the name of those files to something simpler. And so as you can see, like this has an infinite amount of use cases. And so Claude is asking even right here. So what would you like me to rename? I want you to do something short and clear, or setup guide. AI is asking me for these options. Let's just do something short and clear. I'll press enter, and let's just describe it as a diagram or setup. Let's match the guide name, and then I'll submit my answers. And so Claude just asked for clarification. This is part of its planning mode where it says, hey, before I make any actions, I want you to confirm what we need to do. And then you can see here where Claude is asking for permission to be able to then move the file and to rename it. And it's asking for my permission to be able to do this. And I can say, yes, I'll give you permission to be able to do this going forward. And so then you just saw the files move, and then Claude says done. I've renamed both files and put them into the new folder, and I renamed them. And then I'm going to say, can you open the files so that I may review them? And so now you have Claude where it can open up the files for you as well, right? Where it can open up for you. And so just imagine this, having this as a partner, as a creation partner, as a search partner, as a operations partner, to be able to organize and move files wherever they need to go into your computer, being able to read the files to understand what's in there, being able to do analysis. And this is just file management and understanding the files. And so then I asked Claude to be able to open the files so I can review them. I had to ask a couple of different times because the language wasn't clear, and Claude thought I didn't mean by open. But here it is now, and Claude opened the file that it edited, and now I can go through and see and review the file here. Here it is again, where Claude opened this up on XCaliDraw to be able to show that I can view these. So these are the 2 files that Claude renamed and reopened. And so we'll close those files back out, and we'll come back into Cursor. And so those are just a few use cases. So imagine how useful that is to be able to have a partner that can organize and manage and rename and move files for you on your computer. And this is just one use case. We're then going to get into analysis and being able to do research and being able to put together websites, being able to put together marketing materials, invoice materials, creating tools, importing GitHub repos. I mean, it's an infinite amount of things that it can be. And so I hope this helps kind of contextualize what it looks like to have a AI-powered operating partner on your computer, on your MacBook. Again, my name is Brandon Z. Hoff with Rudy, Responsible Use of Digital Intelligence. Thank you for watching.